Welcome, weary travelers. Would you have a seat by the water and have some rest? Let me entertain you with another story. If I were you, I question what's going to be told right now, for sure. However, this is what came about, and let me share it with you. On a rainy morning, our car was driving through a dense fog in which vague and misshapen outlines of trees seemed unfriendly. I was half asleep despite the noisy company inside talking nonstop, including those in the cars behind and in front. They were all my distant folks. Our destination was about 4 hours away from our hometown. I wasn't a fan of visiting weddings and occasions of that kind, and I'm still not, but I was a small and docile child. Still on the way there, I was picturing our way back home, where my sleepy head could finally rest upon my soft and lavender pillow. Besides, the weather outside made me even drowsier. When we got there at last, the restaurant entrance was crowded with other invitees, folding their umbrellas ready to enter the wedding hall. It was pretty stuffy and lively in there. The dance floor in the center was surrounded by long, narrow tables piled with various national treats. Yet, no one had tasted any, as everybody was expecting the newlyweds to arrive. I had a seat by a high window watching the rain on the deserted street. Out of the corner of my ear, I heard the place gradually filling up with people. I couldn't, I mean, I didn't want to take my eyes off the mesmerizing silhouettes of trees in the dark, towering in the heavy fog. They seemed to be about to move, and they did. Of course, in my imagination, all of a sudden, a loud ethnic music muffled all the spirited hum of voices indoors, and it dispelled my ocular illusion outdoors afterwards. The newlyweds, with their parents behind, walked into the hall. Once they were toasted in champagne, everybody dug into the food. Everything was the way it was supposed to: eating, drinking, dancing, toasting, and so on. And everything was to national music. Despite all the people around, I felt completely lonely, like a fish washed ashore, parched with thirst. The rain was letting up, and the moon showed up in the night sky. I was thirsty for a gulp of fresh air. Somehow I managed to cross the dancing whirlpool on the dance floor without being drawn into it. There was a bunch of unfamiliar figures smoking at the exit. When I approached the door, my eyes for a moment got blurred, as if stepping into a haze. But then they gained their clarity very soon. I spent some time in the silence of the night, feasting my eyes on the stars, twinkling about the heads of tall spruce like those on tops of Christmas trees. They weren't many, and I occupied myself counting them, but soon my eyes watered because of the fresh air, and I dropped it as I started seeing double. Quick and bright flashes of light presaged another rain. So I returned. It was different inside. Crowded, noisy, light and warm, even more than a little while ago. The fun wasn't contagious, so I was simply sitting on my chair, blankly staring at the others. To kill some time, I made up my mind to busy myself with my new handheld camera, getting a few random shots of the walls, ceiling, pie-eyed dancers, and all that caught my eye, like my auntie sitting opposite me. She asked me to take a photo to remember. Once we picked a pretty pose, I got the camera focused on her, and my finger was on the point of pushing the shutter button until my eye detected some smoky cloud on the screen in a few feet behind her. I rubbed my eyes and looked again. It was still there. There were several smokers nearby, and I assumed it was them to produce that optical illusion. as other people were walking in and out through the haze, no problem, and which I had walked through a little earlier. After a couple of nice naps, and a few hours later on, the banquet hall commenced gradually purging itself of the guests, as well as of us. The way back wasn't a bit less tedious, but the final station was home. Upon arriving, nobody was going to hit the sack, as there was a lot to talk over. While browsing through the catalog of photographs on my camera, I lingered on those with my auntie. There was something eye-catching, namely that smoky cloud behind my aunt's back, which had a quite sharper contour somehow. It was an unfamiliar old lady with a tired expression, with her hair worn in a bun, just the top half of her body inside, leaning out of the wall, as her button was in the wall, out of sight. Her mysterious image is still stored away in the depth of my memory. She turned out to be attending the event the whole time, watching us aloof. At the mere thought of having walked through her while coming in and out of the hall makes me shudder with awe. My vision was then obscured due to the hazy substance she consisted of, I believe. To make sure that it wasn't just me, I showed it to one and all, and yes, my eyes weren't lying at all. When shown, the owner of the restaurant in which the wedding had been held, after some research and investigation, shared that the lady had been recognized. She was the one run over by a car some time before the celebration, right there on the sidewalk. I wish I had those pictures as a proof to clear your possible doubts, but alas, I have none left, as they were lost. Even not for others, just for me, I keep them to remember. I'd be exceedingly grateful to you for liking and sharing this video with those who might appreciate it and find interesting to listen to. The notification bell icon as well as the subscription button are hunger for your touch. So please, be kind. I hope I've succeeded in making your day. If yes or no, let me know in the comments below anyway. See you later.